Good evening, I'm Jeff Koinange, and this is Jeff Koinange Live. Tonight, a subject that could be a bit embarrassing to many of you out there. You may have had it, you may know someone who may have had it, you may know people who have it right now. It's a little sand flea called a jigger. 2.5 million Kenyans have it right now. There's one man who's literally been on a crusade to try and get rid of this jigger menace. But he's faced a lot of opposition across the country. He'll tell us why. This is a man on a mission. His name, Stanley Kamau from Ahadi Trust. You know what time it is. We have a live call-in number, 0712-957-117. If you know anyone, everyone who has jiggers, call in. This man could be the answer. Let's do this. Time to ask the hard questions. It is time for Jeff Koinange Live. Already the phone is ringing. There's a phrase that Dr. Stanley Kamau refers to in his book, A Jiggered Mind, which is available in many bookshops across the country. A phrase he refers to as a conspiracy of silence among public health officials. That's because the word jiggers causes huge embarrassment across the board. Stanley Kamau says we should confront this head on, especially if we are to meet our MDGs, the Millennium Development Goals, and furthermore, Vision 2030. My Twitter handle, @Koinange Jeff. His is @Ahadi Kenya. And the hashtag is JKL. Let's get busy. Dr. Stanley Kamau.
Yes, sir.
Good to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, too.
Well done.
Thank you.
What you've done is just incredible, but the stories that come out of this book is very embarrassing. When you read about officials who deliberately block you and your teams from conducting your weekly anti-jigger campaigns. Why do you think that is?
I think that I don't blame them because maybe that's how they are.
What do you mean you don't blame them, Stanley? Look, people are literally dying from jiggers.
I have, Jeff, I have stopped judging people and accepting that's how they are. Because if you can deny, and the most frustrating or the most sad thing is that the people who need help are not resisting. The people that are entrusted in looking at the welfare of those people are the ones who are blocking. These are men and women whose children are in school, they have eaten, they have very nice beds, they have stone houses, and then we have people who are disabled, who are jigger infested, who have gone hungry for days, and they don't want you to help the poor people. It's very sad.
Let's face it, Stanley, I mean, you obviously were inspired because you grew up very poor.
Yeah.
You grew up with jiggers.
Yeah.
You've been infested yourself.
I actually almost dropped out of school
because
when
of
I
jiggers.
was 36. Yeah, because of jiggers. My toenails are not there. I can't even wear sandals in this town.
Because of jiggers?
Because of jiggers,
And you almost dropped out?
It was very painful because some of my schoolmates would step on me, others would beat me, others would laugh at me. I almost dropped out of school and I had said I don't want to be in school anymore. Yeah.
What changed?
I think my parents took the action and I was able to recover from jiggers and life continued.
So out there are kids with jiggers right now who are probably as embarrassed as you were back then. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to be seen by their friends because they'll be made fun of.
One of the biggest causes of jigger infestation is school dropouts. We have so many children who fear to go to school because there is a lot of stigma that comes with jigger infestation. Most of them cannot be able to walk to school. Remember, we have free primary education, but free primary education cannot be achieved if we don't create a good environment for these children to be able to go to school and study. If they have jiggers, they can go to school. If they don't have clothes, they can go to school. If they don't have shoes, if they are hungry, they can go to school. So what happens is that in our records, we have registered more than 1.6 million school-going children. And every year, between 8 and 10% of them drop out of school. And that's why I keep on saying, let's not blame the government or anybody because of insecurity. Because when these kids drop out of school, in primary school, when they get to our age, they would want an income, they would want to drive a car, they would want to earn a living. What do? They become the thugs. So there is no security in this country if people are not in good health.
And why don't you think people think that way? I mean, why aren't people being proactive? Why do we let this happen in the 21st century?
I think, as I have said in this book, there's a lot of denial. There's a lot of the leaders distort information. I think there's a breakdown of information between the grassroots and the top level governance in this country. I think they don't know what's happening on the grassroots. Because every weekend for the last 7 years, I go to a village.
Every weekend?
Every weekend. Since the year 2007, I've gone to a village every weekend. And I have gone to all the districts in this country. And I have seen the problems are the same everywhere. But when you ask people, do you have jiggers in your area? They say no, they don't have. There's a lot of denial. And again, the people who are supposed to help in identifying the people, others with problems, they don't want to come out and talk about it. They feel embarrassed because they've been in that, maybe in a job for so many years and they've never talked about it. For example, if you can die because of hunger, how many days will you have gone without food?
You asking me that question?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Do you have a neighbor? Do you have a provincial administrator? Do you have a teacher in that locality? Why would someone die because of hunger? And then when they die because of hunger, when a chief or a sub-chief wants to report, he is threatened with sack.
Why?
The jigger mentality.
A jiggered mind.
A jiggered mind.
Before I forget, Robert Alai was on the show last night and I was teasing that you're going to be on the show tonight and he says, look, he wants you to come to his village. You watched last night, right?
Yeah, I did.
He told me his village is in Ahadi, Nyando district, Kisumu County.
Yeah.
Please, make a point.
I was in Kisumu County about 2 weeks ago to give shoes, and I will visit his village, and I would like him to accompany me. I'll give him shoes to where he went to school, and I'll also support him in the anti-jigger campaign.
Because you have a lot of shoes to give out, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I have a campaign called Zuia Funza na Kiatu. This campaign was launched last year by Her Excellency, the First Lady. And the whole purpose, idea, is to make sure that, you know, Jeff, is very sad that we have people in the 21st century who don't have shoes to wear. And before even I tell you about the shoes, there's a time I tried to look for shoes for my friends. I put on the social media, I need shoes. I can tell you the shoes I was brought into my office. You cannot wear them. They are torn. Why do people give others things they cannot be able to use? It was like a dumping site for old shoes. So I asked God to help me, and one day I was in the office and I got a call and I was told we have been watching and we have been following your activities on the anti-jigger campaign and would like to support by giving you shoes. And I've received millions of shoes which we are distributing together with other organizations for the purpose of prevention of jiggers. And so far, we have given more than 2 million pairs of shoes. And I want to make sure that every child in this country wears a new shoe before end of next year.
Every child?
Every child must wear a new shoe.
You have made that pledge?
I've made that pledge and it's happening.
Are you listening? Are you watching? I think we have some phone calls coming in. That line is ringing off the hook. Let's see if we can get a call or two as we move on. Do we have any calls? We did have a call. Okay, there's a call coming through. Let's go. Hello, you are live. Hello. Hello, you're live on JKL. Okay, Benjamin Sokoy says, Stano, what motivates you to do what you do, owing to the fact that most people shy away from jiggers? What motivates you?
One thing that that makes me feel like I want to do it every day is that when I see children recover and go back to school. Let me tell you, for the last 7 years, I know we started with a lot of challenges, but as I was telling you earlier, to date, we have 250,000 people who have fully recovered of jiggers.
Walk me through a typical scene in a village that you go to and you see jigger-infested people. Talk to me about it. What do you see?
Let's say, Jeff, you have jiggers. The first thing is the intervention. Because when you go on the road and you find a pothole, you don't see the pothole first. You go to hospital. I take you the intervention, I treat you, fumigate your home. Those are the first steps. After fumigating your home, I educate you on the need to be hygienic and all the dangers of jigger infestation. After you are educated and you've been treated, jiggers is as a result of poverty. I make sure that I break the poverty cycle. So I come and pick on your mother, on your relative, or your guardian, and I start a business for him or for her. I've started farming for people so that we can be able to get some income, get some food security, and take your children to school.
But the bottom line, Stanley, the bottom line is hygiene, isn't it?
It's hygiene.
And this is why people associate jiggers with dirty people.
You know, Jeff, when you go to your house and you take a shower, you assume, and most people assume in Nairobi, that everybody has got water, has got soap, has got a basin. Why it's about poverty? It's because poverty, when you are poor, you can not be able to afford to buy even a simple pin to remove one jigger.
Hold that thought. I think we have a call coming in. Call. Do we have a caller on the air? Hello, you're on JKL. You're live.
Hi, how are you, Jay?
Good.
Yeah, I think Mr. Kamau is doing a wonderful job.
All right.
Thank you.
Do you have a question? Do you have a point? Do you have a comment?
Yes, indeed. I have a question. I have a comment. I think its concentration is more in one particular area. It's more in Central Province. But what else? There are so many other areas in Kenya, like Rift Valley, where the jiggers is such a huge menace. So I was wondering what his plans are for other areas outside of the Central Province of Kenya.
Good. Okay. Good question, Stanley. You are, there are people, critics who accuse you of concentrating only in Central Province.
Central Kenya is where we started the campaign. And where it's more highlighted in Central Kenya is because it's where we got a lot of challenges. But I can tell you, Jeff, last weekend I was in Nyamira. The weekend before I was in Kilifi. I was in Lamu. I was in Marsabit. We are in every county in Kenya. So people should look for our number, and if they have a problem of jiggers, they call our office, because we have offices across the country. And the biggest problem of jiggers actually is not only in Murang'a. We have people with a lot of jiggers, and even bad ones in Busia County. We have jiggers in Kwale County, Kilifi County, Lamu County, Marsabit. We have been there. We have been to all counties in Kenya, including Nairobi County, where we have jiggers in Kibera, we have jiggers in Babadogo and Mujua Huruma, just here next to Ruda. Yeah, so we are in every county in Kenya, and if they go to our website, you can see our activities are all over the country.
What's the address?
www.jigger-ahadi.org. You'll find that we are in every county, and if anybody has got a case of jigger infestation, where they would want us to help, we are going to avail ourselves.
So basically, when you say you've been to every county, most of the counties do have jiggers or jigger problems.
Yeah. The way people think about Murang'a, I think people in Kenya also associate me with Murang'a a lot. But the last time I was in Murang'a, I can't remember. I've been to all other counties, and I've seen bad cases in Shinyalu, Kakamega. There are some 3 people who died the other day, and I was there. The other day I was in Uasin-Gishu County, and we have been everywhere in this country.
And so it's bad.
The jigger issue is a whole country issue. Is a problem that needs to be looked at by each and everyone.
Are you getting help now, Stanley, when you go to these counties, now that we have a devolved government? Are you getting help from the counties?
For the first time, we have the county governments we have politicians who are supporting. The county governments, like now, I told you I was in Nyamira the other day, and the governor of Nyamira actually launched anti-jigger campaign, and many other more governors are launching the same. We are also working very closely with all the first ladies of the counties in seeing that the children and women get what they need to get. Yeah.
When you take people for the first time on the weekend anti-jigger campaign, and we've seen the pictures on TV, obviously, and they're washing people's feet. And I'm taking this scenario because it's Easter time, you know, when they were washing Jesus' feet and stuff. You can see the shock on most people when they're washing jiggered people's feet.
I think even me, the first time I found and I saw those cases, I was shocked. I wondered why people should be having jiggers at this particular time of Ella, and why people should actually still be having jiggers. But the most important thing, as you asked, let me go back to what you talk about, the poverty and hygiene. When you are poor, I said you can't afford to buy soap. You can't afford to buy a pin. You can't afford to buy a simple basin. So you become unhygienic because you are not able to buy sanitation and hygiene equipment. When you become jigger infested, you get disabled, so you're not even able to move, and you become more poorer. Like now we are talking about Millennium Development Goal, 2015.
That's next year.
Next year. Eradication of extreme poverty. How do you eradicate extreme poverty when people cannot be able to hold a djembe because they have jiggers on their hands? How do you talk about Millennium Development Goal number 2, universal primary education, when kids cannot be able to walk to school? So all these are theoretical things, and I think we need, as a country, we need to be very, very careful, because if we don't take measures, we will get into a very, very big problem in the next few years.
Absolutely. I think the calls are coming in thick and fast. Let's see if we have another caller on the air. Do we have another call? Okay. Kiplangat Benny on Twitter says, we have problems of jiggers in Kapsiger area in Kericho. You been to Kericho, Caps?
I've been there. I've actually been in that particular village.
Kapsiger.
Where I found a child who was 2 months old with jiggers. Actually 1 month old with jiggers. And we're not even able to remove because we didn't know what to do with a 1 month old child with jiggers. In Kericho. If you go to a website, you can see. Go to Kericho. You'll find a 1 month old child suffering from jiggers. Because the mother gave birth where she was sleeping. It was very dirty and it has a lot of fleas. And the child got infested.
Monen Nzioki says, for as long as there are jiggers in Kenya, the population will never know freedom. I mean, it's one of the most basic things.
I've just told you that there can never be peace in this country if people are still jigger infested. There can never be security at all. Let's forget about fighting or whatever we are going to fight. But as long as we are going to have people who are going to drop out of school, as long as people are going to be in bad health, forget about security.
There's a guy here from Homa Bay County. His name is Night Runner. He says, Stanley Kamau aache uongo. Hajawahi kuja Homa Bay County.
Homa Bay County, I've not only gone there, but I'm also educating a child from Homa Bay County, which I took last year, and I'm going to educate him all the way from secondary school to the university. So I've been at Homa Bay County.
Night Runner, there's your answer. Did you get discouraged, Sandy, though? Did you get discouraged because all this work you're doing, and it's God's work, for lack of a better phrase. It's God's work. You're doing good. And yet all this resistance, and yet you get people who don't want you in their counties, don't want you telling the truth, don't want you eradicating this pest.
You know, one thing is that I don't do this work for the man. I do it for God. And I don't do it to be recognized. I don't do it to be appreciated by anyone. I do it because God has given me something to do. And I must do it, and I made a promise to God that I'll do it. So whether people hate on me or whether they dislike me, I'm serving the purpose that God has given me to do. I don't do it for the man. And if as a man you feel like I'm embarrassing you, like I've been accused when I go to some areas that I've ferried people from Murang'a to, the other day I was in another county, I was told, no, he must have brought people from Murang'a to this county. Let me tell you, Jeff, for a politician to say that you have fed people to his constituency, and I keep on telling them, I have my own constituency, and my constituency is a poverty constituency, and I don't need permission to go to my constituency. That's my poverty constituency. Those are my jiggered constituency. I don't need permission from any other member of parliament. That's my parliament, and it's the poverty constituency, and that's what I want to do, and that's the work I've been called to do. So they should concentrate on the work they have been chosen to go and do, and let me do what I'm supposed to do. Yeah,
absolutely. Edwin Mutabuku is asking, has Dr. Stanley Kamau received any government support in his fight against jiggers?
I can tell you, since the Jubilee government took over, I have gotten a lot of support, and in the next few weeks or a month, we are going to have a Jigger Awareness Week or a Jigger Awareness Day. That's something that we are working on. We are working very, very closely with the Ministry of Health. We are also working with all other government ministries, and we have gotten a lot of support. And if we had gotten the same support 7 years ago, there would be no jiggers in this country.
Absolutely. Good point, Stanley. Before we take a break, Joe Kigashero says, it is Jesus who washed the disciples' feet, not the other way around. I stand corrected, Jockey. Let me read a tweet and then we'll talk about jiggers in particular, right? There's a tweet here, and I see this a lot.
Yeah.
And this tells you about the jealousy and the hate and the short-sightedness of people, okay? Maina Wakara is saying, Kamau is doing a good job. Sadly, in Muranga County, some people accuse him of plotting to remove the governor.
I laugh when I see such things, because in 2007 they had said I want to run as an MP. 2013, is it this year or last year? Last year, they said I want to run as a senator or a governor. Last week they said I want to run as a president in 2017. And I don't know, because in Muranga especially, I know each and every village. I have been to each and every village. Not many of those politicians have been into each and every village, not to politic, but to give food, to give shoes, and to help the needy people.
Is it just plain jealousy, Stanley? Is it just jealousy?
I don't know. I don't want to say it's jealousy. I think they're just a jiggered mind. They don't know, and I forgive them, as I've told you, because they can continue thinking like that. And those politicians, actually, you know, in Muranga we have had a very big problem, and Muranga is only place that I have gotten the biggest resistance all over the East Africa. I told you I'm in Uganda, I'm in Tanzania, I'm in all over the country. But Muranga is only place where even members of parliament have written to corporates not to support me. Not to support me.
And you mentioned A Jiggered Mind. That is the exact title of your book, A Jiggered Mind by Dr. Stanley Kamau. Pick it up at your local bookshop. In fact, every county should have this as a reference when it comes to treating jiggers. Let's go to the phones, because the phones are really interesting. Let's see if they're coming through. Go on. Caller, you are on the air. This is JKL. Hello, you're on the air. Okay. Stanley, so we go into a village, and you know, many people won't admit that they've ever had jiggers. I just asked the crew here during the break. Very few people put their hands up. I remember when I was a kid, I had a couple of jiggers now and then, you know, but it was one or two. And the feeling, the sensation was pretty sweet.
Very sweet.
It's just sweet.
When you have one.
When you have one.
But let me tell you about you're asking about the effects of jiggers.
Yeah.
I told you about kids not going to school and dropping out of school. And like 2013, do you know how many people, men and women, could not walk to a polling station to cast a vote? These are the people who need to make a change in this country. These are the people who need change. They need to change the governance of this country, but they cannot walk
to a polling station.
To a polling station. And we talk about human rights, and we have so many civil society in this country fighting for human rights, and Jigger is the biggest human rights abuser. And Jeff, let me tell you this, and I'm not talking about civil society, but until the civil society moves from boardrooms and PowerPoint projects and move to the ground, we will never move with the civil society.
Good point. Let's go to the phones. Michael Onyango is on the line. Michael, can you hear us?
I'm hearing you.
Go ahead, Michael.
I'm hearing you, sir. I really appreciate this guy and the effort he's been making.
Thank you.
I'm just surprised that somebody is doing some wonderful things, and there are a lot of people giving a lot of assistance, and these things are really here and they're really affecting people so negatively.
Michael, why are you surprised? It happens all the time. Why are you surprised?
Well, even if it happens, all the people should have a change of heart when somebody is volunteering, risking his life, doing everything. I've heard this guy, and I think he's very honest in doing whatever he's doing. And really, Kenyans should come up and give him moral support and stand by him and help him achieve it better. Because around the nation, if you walk, people are so devastated by the giga monies, and it's no secret.
Yeah, Michael, it starts with you, okay? It starts with you.
Yes, sir.
Tell your MP, tell your governor, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do that.
Yes, sir.
Spread the word.
Yes.
Have you ever seen anyone die from jigger manifested?
There's one particular case that actually made me very sad, because we were going to treat that particular man, but the DC of that particular area had told the chiefs not to allow us to that particular home. So we found our own way through hide and seek games. By the time we got to his house, the man had just died. Since 2007 to date, my team and I have been able to attend over 400 burials for people who have died out of Jiga-related complications. 400 and above. And these are facts.
And people are still in denial?
The biggest, and I keep on saying this because I felt very bad when one time we were going to remove jiggers to an area. We had organized very many corporates to come together and support us. And the area MP went house to house that had jiggers, giving 50 shillings each and every homestead with jiggers, and telling them not to come out, they are going to be embarrassed. Other people saying that we are taking images of mad people on the streets and magnifying so that we can be able to get money from abroad.
They actually say that. They actually say that.
And they say that. But I'm asking you, with all the images I have in my office and everything about you, I'll be a billionaire. But these are the jiggered men I'm talking about. People who want to block and distort information about people who are suffering.
Hold that thought, Stanley. I think Khatete from Kakamega County is on the line. Khatete, can you hear us?
Yes, my brother.
Go ahead. What's your question? Khatete had a question. Oh, my. Okay, when you all go to these campaigns in the weekend, we see you all washing feet. Do you remove the jiggers when you wash the feet? I mean, what's in that solution? What's the process?
What we have come up with is something we call painless and pinless process, where we don't use the pins, because use of pins, we have seen some few families who have contacted HIV virus by sharing pins. Families, they're very poor. Even to buy one single pin, which costs less than 50 cents, some families cannot be able to afford. And when they share, they get, the first family we went is where the mother of a child had HIV virus, and the grandmother used to use the same pin removing jiggers, and the boy got infected, and sadly he died about 3 years ago. And we discouraged the use of pins. So what we use we use disinfectant, where people dip their feet and 3 times in a day, and after 2 weeks, you are free from jiggers. But this has to be done every day. So what we do when we go to the ground, when you see us washing feet, we identify social workers and volunteers. Today, we have more than 3,000 volunteers who work with us on the ground. And they do the follow-ups, and after every two weeks or 3 weeks, they give us a feedback. And we have got cases where we have seen people have recovered and they've gone back to school. And after they recover, as I told you, we identify their families, we identify what kind of livelihood project we can do for them. And some people today, you may not believe it, people who are jiga infested in Mulanga, today they have a circle, they are growing bananas. Others in Kiambu, they are doing rabbits, they are doing chicken in Muranga, and they have accounts, and you may not believe it. Those people who were bedridden by jiggers, today, 30% of their income trickles back to the community to help them remove jiggers.
Okay, I think we have another call. Eddie from Nairobi County. Eddie, you are live on JKL. Talk to me.
Hi, Jeff. I'm really overwhelmed. I really feel that this gentleman is doing a very good job. And my question is, what is the long-term solution? Is there some kind of medication that could be sprayed into these villages or whatever it is where the government could help, all those civil societies that we want to go on the ground?
Yeah.
A solution that would stop this menace.
Good job. Good question, Eddie. Long-term solutions. Can villages be fumigated?
Yeah, we do fumigation, and I can say the government is doing a very good job because they are helping us in the fumigation. One, long-term, get rid of jigger-minded people. Two, eradicate poverty. Jiggers is as a result of poverty, but our ultimate goal as Ahadi Kenya is to eradicate poverty in this country. Once poverty is eradicated, people keep on asking why we have more jiggers nowadays than the 1970s and 60s. It's because we look at 1960s and 70s. The farmers, especially in Mount Kenya, they had coffee, they had tea, they had those cash crops, and then there used to be, you know, like me when I had jiggers, when I take our cows to the kettle dip, I used to dip my feet at the shallow end. But nowadays, there are no more kettle dips in this country. I think the spraying and the kettle dips were left to the rich. So the poor people have got now where they can be able to access those kind of disinfectants anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why there's a lot of increase in jigger menace in the country, especially in the central Kenya, because there's no more income in this country.
But Ahadi Trust is just one organization, Stanley.
Yeah.
Can you win this war? That's what Eddie from Nairobi County is asking. Can you win the war?
I can tell you that to date, we have more than now 100 other organizations that are undertaking the jigger eradication campaign as one of their projects, and I'm very, very happy. They may not know what we went through to give them the freedom to talk about jiggers in whichever area they go to, but I can tell you I'm very happy, and that's one of our biggest achievements, that we have corporates, we have organizations, we have NGOs, we have individuals who have taken this matter in their own hands, and they are now helping us in the eradication of jiggers. And if we continue like this, I'm sure in the next few years we will not have people with jiggers in this country.
Yeah. Cool Tosh, he must be from Kisumu County. Listen to this. He says, good job, Stano, but we don't have jiggers in Kisumu. We have parasitic larvae that inhabit the epidermis. But do you say?
I think, Jeff, I think I would challenge each and every person who were born in the rural areas, like me, to go back to their homes. Before you say you don't have a particular disease, before you say you don't have jiggers, go to your primary school where you went to school and ask, is there a problem in this particular area? Because even me, I could have denied. So there are jiggers in Kisumu. I've been there. I was there 2 weeks ago, and I've seen them. There are jiggers in every corner of this country. So let's not be in denial. If there are jiggers, they are jiggers.
Yeah.
If there are no jiggers, I will not come to your area. But I can go anywhere. If there's one person with jiggers, it doesn't matter whether they are 10 or 1. But I can do anything to make sure that that one person gets or recovers from jigger infestation.
Have you seen kids, after you do your cleaning campaign, after you go, and then they go back to school, and they're doing better than ever? They're doing just as well.
Very, very many.
You see the results.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of children who have performed very well. And last year is when we had our first batch of people that had recovered from jiggers going to secondary school. And some of them we are paying for them school fees. Others we have given them to KCB, Equity Foundation, and other organizations that are supporting education. And now, once they finish their secondary school, they go to the university. We put them back into Ahadi Kenya to come and do their internships and help other children. I have seen a lot of children who have fully recovered. But when you talk about children, I remember one time we went somewhere. It's very sad because we were washing a child and had been badly deformed by jiggers. And as we were washing, her finger fell into the water. It was cut off completely. And this is after struggling with the provincial administration to go and carry out a jigger campaign. Struggling. We had struggled for many days. So we had to lie to the administration that we are holding a camp in a particular area. So when he sent his officers to come and disrupt, we were in a different area doing something else. I can tell you, Jeff, I didn't know that this country has people who are actually dead walking in the streets of Nairobi, or doing some work in government offices. I call them dead because they have no, I don't know what to call it.
They are heartless.
They are heartless.
They have no soul.
They don't,
no soul.
They don't care about the poor people.
No.
Because they don't know where you would be driving a good car, you would be eating and sleeping comfortably, and yet we have a disabled child here. We have people, mothers who are giving birth in their own homes, and they don't have access to health care, and yet you give the wrong facts to the authorities. You deny that we don't have jiggers here.
And look, and I digress a bit, but you know, there are all these things that are taking part now, and I'm talking about things like the laptop campaign, you know, which is a lot of money, 26 billion shillings. But laptops in areas where kids have jiggers, Stanley, surely, if a kid's finger can fall off, how the hell are you going to type on the keyboard?
Jeff, let me say this. I appreciate the government's effort to provide laptops. But I wonder how a child with jiggers on his or her fingers will be able to tap into the keyboard. And I don't know. And also, how would they be able to carry that laptop when they can't walk properly with jiggers on their feet? I think more needs to be done to be able, as I said, provide good environment for these children to go to school.
Good point. Let's go to the phones. We have Gunjiri Wambogo, Kenyans for Change. Gunjiri. How you doing, my brother? Gunjiri, you're either going to have to lower the volume or speak louder. Lower the volume on your TV, my brother. I didn't hear a word he said, folks. The line clearly not clear. But Gunjiri, I'm sure he had a good point to make.
Yeah, but Gunjiri has been very, very supportive. And I think he needs also, because he's in the civil society, he needs to talk to the civil society in this country. As I said, you can do a lot of things. But let me tell you, people who have jiggers, people who are hungry, people who are disabled, they have no access to a TV, a mobile phone, a radio, or anything, or even a newspaper. So when, as a civil society, you come to town to demonstrate, you are only demonstrating to the elite. The people that you are meant to be defending need to know what you are doing for them. What are you doing for them? When you come here to Parliament, to demonstrate against members of Parliament, when people are dying, and I can tell you, Jeff, the Wajiko we keep on defending. Wajiko will die because of hunger. Wajiko will die because of jiggers. Wajiko will die because of depression. When the civil society is still defending the same Wajiko, they will turn back one day and find there is no Wajiko in this country to defend. Because Wajiko need to be empowered to be able to fight for her rights. Wajiko cannot be given every day. Let's go to the ground. Let's go to the communities. Let's help Wanjiko. Let's not only talk about Wanjiko that we do not even know about. Yeah.
Absolutely. You must wake up a lot of mornings, Stanley, and tell yourself, I can't go on. I can't do this. This is too much. This is too overwhelming. There's too many roadblocks in my path. Don't you?
You know, Jeff, this campaign has made me realize that there's God. Me as Kamau, I'm very weak. I have nothing I can do to members of Parliament, to the provincial administrators, to the public health officials who would deny me access. But let me tell you, the things I've gone through, when I turn back, I always realize it was not me who was fighting this war. There's someone else who is stronger than me who did it for me. Otherwise, where would I, how, I don't know even how I survived some of these, but there's a time I sat down and I said, I will not do it again.
Yeah.
People are not appreciating, and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But I remembered I gave God a promise that I'll help the people with jiggers in this country. And I kept on working. And now I'm very proud that this year I can say there's no resistance. People have accepted. Those few who have not accepted, they'll get into terms and they'll realize that they should not look at Kamau. Kamau can do so much. Because when they look at me and they start saying, no, the guy does jiggers, he drives a big car. Let me ask you, Jeff. Have you seen the guys who work at Red Cross sleeping inside the ambulance? Do they sleep in the ambulance? Have you seen the MPs who represent guys in the slums, sleeping in the slums?
Never.
Yeah? We have a life. I had a life before I started the anti-jigger campaign.
Yeah.
I had a business. The business still goes on.
You spoke about survival a moment ago, Stanley. Survival, I want that survival story. You have to tell our viewers you were in an accident yourself in India a while back. I want you to tell that story because this kind of crystallizes who you are. You are meant to be dead, but here you are.
You know,
hold the thought.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. There are a lot of ungrateful people out there, but there are some ordinary Kenyans doing extraordinary things. At Ahadi Kenya, at Koinange Jeff, hashtag JKL. Let's keep talking, let's keep tweeting, and the call-in number, 0712-957-117. This is Jeff Koinange Live, and JKL takes a break. We'll be back in a moment. Yo, Nick. I don't know, man. Disappeared.
Are you on the air?
Okay, D.
No, imejump.
Okay, D.
Just see what all the figures in my...
Hii simu yako hainifurahishi. Busy aje kwani ni post office?
Fanya hivi. Ufinye hii. Unaona hii windows? Fanya hivyo tena ufinye hiyo windows.
Okay. Thank you, brother. How's it coming? Looking good?
Make it fast. Should put stickers in the cars, man.
That's a bookmark. A bookmark. Watu wanasema nini? I've really accused the civil society.
This is nice.
Thank you. Wanasema nini?
People are asking, how can they volunteer?
Yeah,
Right? Not financially in the campaign.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll come to that.
Good. Good.
And I sweat.
Huh? Nani yo? How the jiggers? Wapi Willie?
Major Matanga is watching, eh?
Watching what?
He's watching the show.
What? Does he have jiggers?
He had a jigger. Jigger mind.
A jiggered mind.
A jiggered mind.
Oh man, what a story, man.
We need to
What a
talk
story.
about the awards and...
We got 1 minute. Sonia, you all right? Willie, unasikia baridi na hiyo koti na hiyo miwani? Stand by. Willie.
And also we need to talk about how we overcame the jiggered mind.
We haven't overcome it yet.
No, we overcame how we did. And I wish you can lead to the people this last.
You will. Pick a paragraph. Stand by.
Yeah. When you are winding up, I'll read for them. That will be my.
And welcome back to Jeff Koinange Live from the poolside of the Intercontinental Hotel. Thursdays is all about ordinary Kenyans doing extraordinary things. And if you've never heard of Stanley Kamau of Ahadi Trust, now you have. He's just written a book. It's called A Jiggered Mind. And if you know someone who has a jiggered mind, someone who is resisting change, a conspiracy of silence out there when people are trying to do good, especially eradicating jiggers from society, tell us, call us, spread the word. Right now, my Twitter handle, at Koinange Jeff. Stanley's is at Ahadi Kenya, hashtag JKL. Keep the questions coming. We have a caller? We're going to call? Okay, let's go straight to the phone. Okay, let's see who's on. Hello, caller. This is Jeff Koinange, and you are live.
Yeah, this is Jeff Ngala.
Go ahead.
The question I'm asking, Jeff,
Yeah.
how these people trying to go about the jiggers in Kibera?
How do people what?
I think he was asking how we are able to go through about the jiggers in Kibera.
Okay.
You know, our office is in Cabernet Road.
Maybe he doesn't know where it is.
He
Okay,
does- yeah,
on Cabernet Road.
we are Cabernet Road. So we have social workers within Kibera, and people can actually write to us at Ahadi Kenya or Anti-Jigger Campaign Facebook.
Or they can go if they're in Kibera.
Then Kibera.
They go straight to the
Yeah,
office.
they can go up to the office. We have had people who are bringing kids to the office, and we're able to treat them and do a follow-up. And
What if they can't walk? What if
we normally go to where they are.
Yeah.
Most of these people cannot be able to walk.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Sky T. Karish is asking, how can someone volunteer, not financially, in your campaign?
What I keep on saying is that one thing, and is in one of the quotes I have here, is that we don't give because we have excess. We give because we have access. If you're able to access even old clothes, you can access Jeff to give you 10 shillings. If you can access information, that will be very, very important. And our campaign is actually sustained by volunteers. So if you're able to volunteer your time, your services, if you have any kind of advice you can give us, if you think what we are doing, we are not doing it in the right way, we are open to be collected, and just need to visit our website, Ahadi Kenya Trust, or you can go to our Facebook account, the Anti-Jigger Campaign, or Twitter handle at Ahadi Kenya, and you'll be able to be advised on how you can be able to volunteer. Every weekend we take volunteers out of town to go and do the community work, and we want to change the people's thinking that you can only help because you have money. Me, I don't have money, but I help because I'm able to have the energy. I can use my hands. I can be able to walk. And you know, you remember some time back, I took some people who are actually physically challenged to go and help, because I wanted to challenge the people who already have got two hands, they can be able to see properly, to join in and be able to help just like anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinyanjui Njonjo is saying, jiggers, funza, dutu.
Dutu, yes.
What do you call jiggers in your language? I guess
Dutu, dutu.
In ours, right? But
Yeah.
I guess, you know, with 42 languages out there, tribes out there, what do they call it? I guess that's part of the conversation. We need to keep talking about these things.
What I did about 2 weeks ago, I launched a campaign on hygiene. And this campaign on hygiene, I'm going to translate all those posters. I'm also in talks with the Ministry of Health to be able to do for us the posters in different languages so that people can be able to understand. Because, Jeff, I've talked about jiggers for the last 7 years. I want to talk about now preventive. I don't want to be seen every day curing jiggers. I want people to learn how they can be able to prevent jiggers from attacking them. And this is what I've launched. And in the next 1 year or so, we'll be talking about prevention. Yeah.
Stanley, you may not have made it to where you are today.
Yeah.
You almost didn't make it to where you are today, because you were in India.
Yeah.
And you were, let's admit it, you were a raving alcoholic.
You know, Jeff, when people look at what we do and they actually tell them not to look at Kamau, look at what I'm doing. Don't look at me as a person. Even if you don't like me, at least appreciate the other people I'm helping. And why I decided to give back to the community is because I told you those days there were no Motudo law. But I'm telling you, if there was a Motudo law, that Akoblo could have gone off even before I approached it. Because I used because the way I used to drink.
Yes.
You know how you approach Akoblo and it just goes off?
Yeah.
But I remember there is this one time, and we were very drunk, and we got involved in an accident, and
With fellow Kenyans?
with fellow Kenyans
In India?
In India, one of my friends died, the other one got paralyzed, and we actually, when we got the accident, we were collected on the side of the road and we were taken to the mortuary. and in the mortuary where they put the bodies, it's not like here, and they put on us those
ice blocks.
Ice blocks
On a slab. I mean, you were
yeah, on a slab, and then I woke up after 2 months. Me, I didn't know. I don't know all these things. I mean, I was being told, but I read on the Indian Times that 3 Kenyans had died. And when I woke up, I was told that my friend had been buried, and the one was flown back to Kenya. And to date, I can tell you, I support him because he got paralyzed. He can't remember anything. He doesn't. I don't think he knows me. But I was given a chance to live. And that's why I don't drink, I don't smoke. And I thank God that he gave me another chance to be able to do what I'm doing today. And that's why I'm very, very determined that I can die doing good for the people.
Absolutely. I understand we have Gunjiru Wambogo, Kenyans for Change, back on the line. Gunjiru, are you with us?
Yep. Hi, Kamau. I have a question of Kamau that I've asked him in very I'm giving up my experience. And my question to him is, I know there's been any problems with elected officials because of the work he did. Why does he bite the bullet and actually go into public office? Imagine what you can do in public office with the people who do everything in time from outside. What if he bite the bullet, go out there, get a public office, and actually expand the work he's doing into our main key national issues with a public, from a public office?
It's a great question, Gunjiru. Why don't you bite the bullet, go for public office? Jeff, I've told you many times that if I was to run for a political office, I will run so that I can be able to help the people. And if I'm helping the people where I am now, I don't need to run for any office. And I'm one of the people who propose that members of parliament or anybody who runs a political office should do it voluntarily. No, don't think they should be paid. You should volunteer your time, volunteer your services to the people of Kenya. So what I'm doing now, I think I get a lot of satisfaction, and I don't think I would want to get involved into politics. But what if they don't like you, Stan? You're saying you should do this for free? It's not for volunteer. Because why would you go and spend money? You spend more money than your salary that you're going to earn in parliament for the next 5 years. Why can't you give that money to the communities, help them, and I think parliament should not be a place where you're going to look for money. I think it should be like other countries where if you want to look for money, you resign from parliament and you go and look for money. And again, let me tell you, yes, it's very sad that for members of parliament, even now the bills that are passing in parliament, we're talking about governors flying flags. We have so many people who are dying because of hunger. Well, how do you sit down a whole night, discuss about a governor's flag? Imagine, when people are dying because of hunger in this country. Priorities. Messed up. Yeah. Okay, Mohammed Ibrahim on the line. Mohammed, you are live and Jeff Koinange live. Talk to me.
Yes, and hello. I'd like to appreciate Stan first of all. And secondly, I would like to actually give Stan the opportunity to come to Western Kenya. And to Garissa or Dira in Mandela. We are ready to welcome him. We have a lot of bigger investing people there. Let's give him the opportunity to come there, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. You've been invited to Garissa County. Have you been? Yeah, I've been to Garissa, I've been to Ajir, I've been to Marsabit. But if we can contact us on our Facebook or Twitter or call our office, I'll be glad to go with him and to go and help those people. Yeah. Charlie A.O. is asking, how much does it cost to do a Jigger outreach campaign in any location? Give us a breakdown. What we need is a medication. We need a basin, we need soap, we need a nail cutter, we need the gloves. It costs 3,100 per person to fully treat and rehabilitate that person. From the moment you find somebody with jiggers to the time he walks back to school, it's 3,100. So if you are 100 people, that's 310,000. If you are 200 people, 620,000. So it's 3,100 per person to fully treat and rehabilitate. And we can do this. It can be done. I've seen people who drink 5,000 a day. Those are like rehabilitating 2 children. Why can't you do it? What keeps you going, Stanley? I've got to keep asking. What keeps you going? I mean, look at this. George Saia saying, thank you, Stanley. I thank Jesus for you. Be blessed. You are in my prayers. What keeps you going? people recover. When I go and I find that the people that are attended to, they are back to school, they are able to improve themselves in sports. Others have actually even gotten married. I feel I've done something. And you see, it doesn't matter how many lives I change. Yeah. If I change only one, yes, I'm happy.
Nelson from Catholic University is on the air. Nelson, you are live in JKL. Talk to me.
This is Nelson from Catholic University.
Nelson, get yourself some credit. Again, okay, Shanice, a lot of people are asking how can they volunteer, Best way, get on the website, get the information, call us, organize yourselves. If you have a group, a chama or something, organize yourself, and we'll be able to direct you where you can go. We have so many people around even Nairobi area. We have other counties where you can go and support. Felix Tinga, ask Stanley how much he earns for himself in the campaign, the Jigga Menace.
Jeff, is the truth that from the year 2007, I contribute money to Ahadi Kenya. None of us in Ahadi Kenya is paid. We don't earn even a single coin. We contribute money. And you remember for the first 3 years when we started, because of how we have been whatever by everybody, we didn't even get a single supporter to support the campaign. So Jeff, I sold my cars, I sold my property to support the campaign. And even today, I contribute, all other directors contribute. And this is what I keep on saying. And for any person who wants to start an NGO, they should be able to give at least 30% of their expenditure to the organization. Absolutely. So that they are able to move even without, even if they don't get anybody to support it. Yeah. I give money to the campaign.